I'm walking slowly, I'm taking my time. All I like are talking is starting to rhyme. Letting go of lonely, letting go of strife. I just can't get enough of this beautiful life. I just can't get enough of this beautiful life.
Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We are so happy you have joined us today. Today's video, we are going to be sharing 3 different segments. The first segment is going to be 10 cheap things that you could do that could possibly bankrupt you or leave you with a tremendous loss of income. The second segment, I'm going to be sharing my holiday control journal with you. Hopefully it will encourage you for the next couple of months. And then the third segment, we're going to get into the kitchen and we are going to be making a one-pot meal that you could even serve company. That's how Paul approved it was. Let's get right into this video. The first one we're going to talk about is skimping on any kind of insurance, whether it be health insurance, car insurance, home insurance. These things are a necessary cost. If you get sick or God forbid you need to be hospitalized for something and you don't have health insurance because you're trying to not spend the money on it, oh goodness, I don't even want to think what it can end up costing you. There are so many state plans that you can get through your employer, COBRA plans, also insurance for your car, insurance for your home. These are all insurances that can save you money in the long run. God forbid, again, I'm going to say it, there is an automobile accident or something happens to your home. The amount of money you would be putting out is so much more than you would be paying on a monthly premium. You can shop around for different plans. I'm not telling you to go all out and get the most expensive. Get what works for you. But please don't think by not having these things you're saving money, because in the long run it could cost you a lot more. The second thing you don't want to save money on is ignoring home repairs or car repairs. These could not only cost you more in the long run, but also could be extremely dangerous. If your oil burner is not working correctly, you don't want to fool with that. You need to get that repaired. If your car needs tires, you need to get new tires. It's a safety thing as well as money saving in the long run. Make sure that you are keeping up with the home repairs and car repairs that you need to keep everything running safely and efficiently. Number 3, another way that you can end up spending big money on something that will be thrown out is buying sale items that you don't want or you don't need or you don't use just because they're on sale. And that goes along with hoarding food as well. A lot of times people are stocking up on low-cost items in such a bulk way, thinking they're being frugal in the long run. If you don't use that item, first thing I would tell you to do is give it away. But what happens a lot of time is people let these items expire, and you are stuck with expired food that people don't want, you don't want, and you've put out a good amount of money on that. That is not thrifty. That is just really very wasteful. Number 4, this is something I'm guilty of. Buying clothes that don't really fit well, but they're on sale, they're cheap, or I found them in a thrift store, and I'm gonna lose some weight and make sure I can fit into them. Do not buy clothing for the future, unless it's children's clothing and your child is going to grow into it. That's something different. You get a great deal on that. But if you are throwing your money away on clothing that does not fit properly, right now and you are saving it because you're going to lose that extra 10 or 20 pounds and you're going to need that down the line, wait, that's another cheap no that will cost you money in the long run. Number 5, this is a big one. Not putting money into a retirement plan, whether it be your 401k or whatever your company is offering, or even taking money and putting it away. What's great about a 401k is your employer is adding to that retirement for you. So do not think it's thrifty not to put money into that. People who don't give fully into their retirement plan, you're losing money. Please, if we can encourage you, don't be cheap in that area. Put what you can in, because in the long run, that will come back to you twofold and you'll have money and security when you need it. Number 6, do not be cheap on quality items. Not spending money and being cheap on large purchases for good quality items, it's going to cost you more because you're going to have to replace that item over and over again. That goes along with a good quality pair of shoes, good quality appliances. Mattresses are another item that I would not be cheap with. You're spending so much of your life in your bed. By being cheap now, it's going to cost you more in the future. Number 7, another thing you don't want to be cheap with is putting your money into high yield CDs. Right now, CDs are around 4% for a year, and we have talked about this before. The only thing with a CD is you cannot touch that money. But think about it, 4% on what you're putting in, the bank will give you back. Now, I know I get comments, I don't trust banks. And of course, everything we tell you is just our journey. We are not forcing you to do anything. We are just sharing our journey. For us, putting extra money into a CD, the interest you yield is so worth it. What we do is take that interest and roll it right back into the CD, and it continues to grow monthly with the interest that's added to it. But remember, you cannot touch the principal for the entire time that you are putting that CD into play. Number 8, purchasing things that are broken or missing parts that you're going to fix up, and they're going to be worth money. They're going to be really something wonderful. Now, if you are a great handyman and you work on antique cars and you are good at it, well then go ahead by all means. But if you are someone who tinkers with things and buys a little bit here thinking they're going to fix it, and a little bit here and they're going to make that new again, and you really don't, and your home is filled with half-finished projects, we encourage you, don't keep investing in broken or missing parts, appliances or cars or whatever it is. Because if you don't fix them and resell them or reuse them, then you have just wasted a lot of money. And I know people who have rented storage sheds, which are more money a month, to put these unfinished projects in. But please don't do it, giving your good hard-earned money to something that you're unable to use and no one else is able to use. Number 9, purchasing collectibles thinking they are going to be worth something down the line. We were in Goodwill many years ago when DVDs were coming out. And a man came up behind us with a carriage full of VCR tapes. And I can't even imagine, even if they were $1 a piece, he must have blown $100. He had almost every VHS tape that Goodwill had back then, and they were still stocking them at that point. And he told us while we were online with him that they were going to be worth money someday. So he was taking his money, putting it towards these VHSs, and he was going to hold on to them till they were worth something. Even at that point, Paul and I were like, that's not a great idea. They're phasing them out. Now, some of them, okay, granted, may be worth money, but again, how much? Beanie Babies were another craze that people were buying and paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for. Now people are giving Beanie Babies away. So please, unless it's gold, okay, honestly, don't buy something with the intent of hanging on to it to resell it later and make more money. If you collect something, collect it because you love it. Don't collect it thinking that you're going to make money in the long run. You may not. There is no guarantee. Number 10, one thing you do not want to be cheap with is your time and your relationships. I think this one is the most important, because you can bankrupt your family and your friends by not being generous with who you are. Now, I am not talking about monetary gifts. I'm talking about your time, and I'm talking about your attention. There is nothing more valuable that we can share with others than who we are and what our gifts are. By being cheap with your time, your talents, your emotions, you could end up bankrupting some very important people in your life. So please remember that, and I'm going to leave you with that one. We just hope these last 10 suggestions we shared with you are helpful, because sometimes we think we are being really thrifty and budget friendly when in the long run, not spending what we should at the right time can seriously cost us a tremendous amount of money. But now let's talk about something that's really thrifty and budget friendly and so yummy. We're going to turn the camera around. We're going to get into the kitchen, and we are going to share this creamy chicken, spinach, vegetable, cheese, orzo dish all in one pan. I know that sounds like a lot, but it comes together so perfectly. Paul will even tell you what he thinks about it. So let's turn the camera around and get into the kitchen. We're talking about an easy, company-worthy holiday meal that cooks in one pan. This is a creamy chicken, spinach, and orzo meal. The holidays are coming, and we're going to need meals like this for company or just for some warm, cozy fare. Our first ingredient is 8 ounces of a chicken breast that we just cubed into bite-sized pieces. I've got 2 cups of milk here, 3 cups of baby spinach, and we just washed them. I've got a cup of orzo. I just want to show you what orzo looks like. This is the box. These were on sale for 99 cents. They're shaped like rice, but they're actually pasta. And they cook so well in a minimal amount of time. Garlic that I am going to mince. Half an onion that we chopped up. I have got about 3/4 cup of grated Parmesan and grated provolone cheese. You can really use any cheese you want. 1.5 tablespoons of flour. Look at this beautiful, colorful medley. I have 2 cups of frozen mixed vegetables that I just defrosted just a little bit. Great way to use up what you have in your freezer. 2 cups of my homemade chicken stock. You can use chicken broth, whatever you have. And then we just have some salt and pepper, and you can season this to taste as well. We're using a high-sided frying pan for this. If you don't have a pan like this with a high side, then just use a regular pot. I've got about a tablespoon of olive oil in the pan over medium heat, and I'm heating that up. I just added our chopped onion, and we're going to let that cook for about 2 to 3 minutes just to soften it. And now I'm going to add a clove of garlic, minced, and we're just going to cook that until it is fragrant. Now I'm just adding our chicken, just searing the outside of it. At this point, I'm going to add a little pepper to the chicken and a little bit of Italian seasoning. Now I'm taking the flour and I'm putting the flour over the chicken. And I'm going to take our 2 cups of vegetables. I added those to the pot. And now we're just going to give everything a good mix. Now I'm going to add the cup of orzo, the stock. I have pieces of chicken in mine because this is a homemade stock, and the milk. We're going to gently deglaze the bottom of the pan. Just take your spatula and go over the bottom of the pan till you feel it smooth. It's still over medium heat. Now what I'm going to do is bring it to a slow rolling simmer, which is just like a really, really low boil. And we're going to do that for about 8 minutes. That's going to cook the chicken and it's going to cook the orzo. Do not cover the pan. Leave the pan just like this and keep stirring it often. It took a couple minutes, but as you can see around the edges, it's starting to boil just gently. Leave it uncovered, and every once in a while, just please give it a stir, and what'll happen is it will start to thicken. So I ended up cooking this for 8 minutes, and you can see how bubbly and delicious, and the orzo is cooked and the chicken is cooked. Please make sure the chicken registers 165 internally. I am going to take our 3/4 cup of cheese and we're going to add that in. And that Parmesan cheese makes it so delicious. It's got that nutty flavor, salty, so good. You can see how this thickens even more now. And the only thing I will tell you is keep stirring it while it's cooking because it is thick and it could stick. We're adding our 3 cups of spinach. Please make sure your pot is big enough. And now we're just going to let this wilt into it. Just take it, fold it in, and it'll cook down immediately. You're just going to cook this spinach till it's wilted. So beautiful and creamy. The spinach is completely wilted, cooked in. Look at this. Oh my goodness. The orzo has cooked, the veggies, the meat. So Paul's going to give it a taste test and let us know what he thinks. Now I'm going to take a little extra of the Parmesan.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to try the creamy chicken with orzo, spinach, and mixed vegetables, and of course some cheese. Whoa, this is nice and hot. It's delicious. That's like a risotto with chicken. The spinach has that delicious spinach flavor. The vegetables rounded out, the cheese. This is really, really good, especially on a cold night. One pan, you get home, you want to throw something on the stove real quick. This is absolutely delicious. You got to try it. I definitely give this a thumbs up. This is Paul approved.
I will link the original recipe down below, but of course we tweaked it. We did our own version. That recipe is so customizable. You could have used ground beef and beef broth. You could have used tuna. You could have left the protein out completely and just used veggies. Add some zucchini, add some mushrooms, broccoli. You could have made it your own. Paul hit it on the head when he said it tasted like risotto, and it really did. You could probably use a very small pasta instead of the orzo, but if you can get your hands on a box of orzo, use that. It was so good, and we had a ton of leftovers. It made a lot. So a great company meal. That one I want you to bookmark so you can use it throughout the holiday when you need something quick but fancy enough to serve your guests. Now, I want to share with you my holiday journal. Now, you all know I have a control journal that I use all year. When the holidays come around November 1st, I pull out my holiday control journal. You could use a notebook, you can use a pad of paper, you can use anything you want. You're gonna see mine is so customized with little bits and pieces of different things, but it keeps me focused through the holidays. And before I say any more, let me just show you it. I wanted to share my holiday control journal with you. You can use anything, like I said earlier. Use a notebook, whatever works for you. This was an expired Happy Planner, and I just kept the cover and the rings, and then I decorated the front with just holiday stickers, a little Merry Christmas, Holly Jolly, just made it look festive. During the warmer months, I found on clearance at Hobby Lobby this entire insert. It was sold with no cover or anything for a couple of dollars, and I grabbed it. No one was thinking holiday at that point. What I have is a section for notes where I can write down what I need, what I have for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and I have everything right here. Then I go to menu, all the different menus I have, whatever the occasion, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, recipes I want to use, section for cookies, because I am a baker. Now, if some of these sections don't apply to you, you can leave them out. I have a card and gift section, just people I send cards to, gift lists, who it's for, what I bought, where I bought it, is it purchased already, and is it wrapped? And then there's a stocking stuffer section. If you don't give gifts, leave this out. Then, are you entertaining? I have a party section, decorations, activity, guests, menu. And then at the end, we have our memory section. And just little notes throughout the season that I want to add. I can add some pictures if I want. This is just going to keep me organized and keep me focused on what I need to do, what I've already done. It just simplifies and makes me calmer throughout the holiday season. We thank you so much for spending this time with us. Our question of the day is, have you thought about the holidays? Have you thought about your meal plan? Are you hosting? Are you going somewhere? We're talking Thanksgiving. We're talking Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is. Please share down below what you've got going on. Have you started prepping? What are you excited about the holidays for? So share down below what's going on with you for the next couple of months for the holidays. Thank you again for being with us. We appreciate you all so much. We ask you to be well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God greatly bless you.